Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to share with you the #1 trick that retailers use on shopping addicts and people who experience impulsive shopping tendencies. Now, I think this video may be a nice little subtle reminder, especially as we head into the silly season. I know for people like myself who have a past and who can easily get caught up in shopping and the excitement of shopping and of, you know, this time of year, Christmas coming up, retailers, especially now, will be pulling out all the stops in order to make as much money as they possibly can. I just want to make sure you're making smart purchase decisions and buying things that you genuinely want and love, and just purchasing more from a healthier place. And today's video, I'm going to be sharing 3 particular stories with you to prove my point. And I suppose my experience comes from more of the designer fashion space and the tricks that sales associates at these large department stores and designer stores use. I'd love to hear what you think retailers in more of that middle range use, but today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 specific stories from my past with shopping designer fashion. And the one that I think I've touched on before, but it is to me the key moment where kind of that light bulb went off in my brain, and I realized that I was being fooled and I was making decisions that were impulsive. And this whole light bulb moment, when I started to realize that my shopping was maybe a little bit unhealthy and I started to really look at these design houses in a different light, was my Fendi sequin baguette, the purple one. Now, you may have seen me talk about this before on my channel, especially if you've been here and you were here more in my designer fashion days, but this bag, thank the Lord, I finally sold it. The debacle that I went on to try to sell this bag, I'm so relieved it's gone now. I managed to sell it on Vestiaire, and I actually managed to sell it for slightly more than I paid for it. Praise the Lord, it's gone. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't losing on it. Some of the offers I was getting on that bag were just, that was a whole nother story. But anyway, I'm so glad it's gone. But this particular bag, I very much fell into the trap of the impulsive shopping with this particular purchase. And this is what kind of made that light bulb go off in my head. One of the biggest tricks that retailers use is they play on the scarcity element and the scarcity mindset, which I think a lot of shopping addicts and people who impulsively shop, or people that just love fashion and get excited by fashion, they use this to their advantage. The scarcity mindset, it's a limited edition, it's the only one in store, they're not gonna be around for long. This is very much a tactics that retailers use, and of course there is some truth to it. There is some truth to the element of exclusivity. You know, when we think about the Versace and Fendi collaboration that happened not so long ago, that was a limited edition collaboration, but it's now being stocked and it's now being sold in outlet malls for, 50-60% off, I think. So definitely there is that scarcity element, and you know that the product is not going to last forever. But I think we also need to remember that things come and things go, and the speed in which fashion moves, it's faster than it's ever been. And this particular Fendi purchase that I made, I was very much sucked in and reeled in by the element of the Sarah Jessica Parker Sex and the City element. I was very much excited by that. As somebody who loved the original Sex and the City, I just loved the idea of almost having a little bit of fashion history, slightly. I mean, fashion royalty in my closet. I loved the idea of having something that a fictional character also kind of had. It sounds kind of weird. The sequin Fendi baguette was made popular by that particular Sex and the City episode. So when they re-released it, it caused an absolute frenzy. People were losing their minds, and I was very much one of them. And I wasn't able to actually get the bag in store. I wasn't able to snatch it up in its first round. So when I heard that they were re-releasing this bag again, I was told they only had 50 pieces, 50 bags that they were dropping, and that was it. That was done. That was the end of the Fendi sequin baguette. And of course, me feeding into that scarcity mindset, feeding into that, oh my God, it's a limited edition. Oh my God, only 50. I may be lucky enough to be one of those 50 people who managed to score one. And I went through a personal shopper in Paris, and I actually, funnily, paid less than what I would have paid if I bought it from a store in Australia. And I think it's just because of the currency conversion, which is weird. Like, even with the fees from the personal shopper and the fees to get it shipped over here, I managed to pay not a huge amount less, but just a little amount less than what I would have been able to pay if I was able to even get in stores, which I wasn't. I had to wait months to receive this bag. I wore it once. I realized it wasn't really for me. It wasn't really my style. And I realized almost immediately that I'd fell into the trap of the impulsive hype, and the hysteria and the frenzy took over. And the light bulb moment for me in which I realized that this is something that really kind of started to put me off a lot of these design houses was, you know, if you were to go on Fendi.com now, that bag is not a limited edition anymore. That bag is very, very easy to get. It is now online. You can add it to your cart. For months, there was a time where you couldn't. I think it was even close to a year, maybe more, where you couldn't add it to your cart. They were nowhere to be found, nowhere to be seen. Now you can, you know, stroll into a Fendi shop. They're in the display windows. You can add one into your cart online and you can have it shipped to your door within a few days. And not only that, they have such an extensive color range now of this particular Fendi baguette. So this is really where that light bulb moment happened for me, where I started to look at these design houses in a very different way. The fact that I was very much, I hate the word victim, especially, you know, in this day and age, but I was very much a victim to this frenzy and hysteria. I fed into the idea that, and I fed into the lie, and I believed the lie that, oh, we're only making 50 more. When in actual fact, Fendi probably realized, holy crap, we're making a lot of money and there is lots of money to be made off of these sequined baguettes. Let's get Sarah Jessica Parker on for a collaboration. Let's bring them out in a variety of more colors. There is more money to be made, which for these design houses, like I said, I've spoken about in a somewhat recent video. I'm sure you've seen it, but if you haven't, I'll have it linked up above. Profit is the #1 factor that drives these design houses now. It wasn't always the case. I mean, of course, profit is very important, but quality also used to be important, and integrity. And I don't actually believe for a lot of design houses that is still the case, because it's very disingenuous to say that something is being released as a limited edition. You may think, oh, but you know, that's just one example with Fendi. There are many other examples, and I'm sure if you wanna chime in and share with me your experiences in the comments down below, I myself and other people here would love to read them. A second example was only a few months ago. I think I shared this, but I had a friend who went to Hawaii and she saw a particular Dior bag in store. The sales associate claimed that it was an American exclusive, and she was like, oh my God, that's amazing. She sent me photos, and you know, it was a beautiful bag. Fast forward to literally like 2 weeks later, that bag was available on the Australian website, and it was also part of a somewhat, I don't know about large is the right word, but it was also part of a gifting campaign on Instagram with a number of different influencers who were photographed with that bag, who were, whether it be gifted or loaned that bag to share with their followers. So not only was it not an American exclusive, but it was also, you know, gifted to a variety of influencers, which I think for a lot of us know that when something is really pushed out to a lot of influencers, companies sometimes try to make something happen. To quote Mean Girls, they try to make fetch happen when it just can't happen. Like, you can't really make a bag an it bag just by gifting it to a bunch of influencers, which is a lot of time what Dior and a lot of other design houses do. You know, fast forward to now, that bag, I don't know about you, but I haven't heard much of it being an it bag. I don't see many influencers wearing that bag, and it's available on the Australian website, so it's not an American exclusive. And I'm so glad that my friend took a step back and took a breathing space, because she was very much, I think, you know, getting swept up in the excitement and the emotional manipulation, you know, that these design houses, and I don't know if it's just that particular sales associate, but I do think these are tactics that they're taught. Because I think my friend, what was in her head was, oh my God, I'm gonna bring back a bag to Australia, let alone Australia, like, you know, little old Adelaide, where we live in a small little town, and I'm gonna be the only person, one of the only people carrying this bag. I think for women, there is like that emotional manipulation that plays in, because a lot of women, a lot of people in general love to have something new or different or unusual, something that kind of sets them apart from everyone else. And I'm no different to that. I'm not immune to that. I think for me, a part of the reason why I'm stepping away from designer fashion is probably because everyone's obsession with designer fashion, everyone's obsession with having a piece of the pie, and it's gotten so out of hand to the point where people want a slice of that pie, whether it be real or fake. and people are, you know, rocking and buying knockoffs left, right and center. I never told you this, but I'll never forget, a few months ago was at a local shopping center and I saw a man wearing a horrible knockoff of my Balenciaga shearling jacket. Do you remember the one? I tried to sell it ages ago, and then that Balenciaga scandal happened, and you know, I don't wear it, but I also have no interest in trying to sell it for peanuts. I saw a man in a sports store wearing the worst knockoff I had ever seen, and it sounds really mean. How did I even end up in this tangent? I don't know. Oh yes, that's I think now why I'm moving away from that, and I'm moving more of my interest towards other brands, more unknown, smaller brands. So of course I'm not immune to this. I think, I don't know if it's more of a women thing or if it's just a human being thing, but we all want to feel, look, seem special or different or unusual. And I think that these retailers really kind of play into that, you know, the limited edition, the, oh my God, it's only gonna be here for a short time. That is something that retailers really play into, and it works. That selling tactic works. The final thing that I wanna actually touch on, and this is a fun little what if game I wanna play with you. What if games are some of my favorites, because truthfully, we're never really gonna know what the true intentions of this particular sales associate was that I wanna share this story with you. But I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Play with me like the what if game. Now, of course, I need to start by saying I'm not the most trusting person. I also tend to steer more on the negative side of life sometimes. Some people might argue it's more realistic, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on this particular story I'm about to share with you. So I have a friend who recently went interstate, and she was in Chanel, and she was looking at a particular bag, and she had never shopped with this particular sales associate before. This was the first time meeting him, and she was looking at a particular bag that she was interested in. Now, this bag is quite expensive. It was over $7,000, and it is not a leather handbag, so let's just keep that in mind. And the particular bag she was looking at, it wasn't like a neutral, it wasn't a neutral color. It was a very bright, beautiful color, but it wasn't a neutral color. And she tried it on, she loved it, but she didn't end up buying it. She couldn't get this bag out of her head. She couldn't stop thinking about it. And a few days went by, and she texted the particular sales associate she met, and she said, hey, look, I can't stop thinking about this bag. I was just wondering, by any chance, is it still in store? Because she was told that they only had one bag in store, which may very well be true, but it also may not. I'm more leaning towards the fact that it probably was the truth, because Chanel, especially in Australia, we don't have large quantities of stock, but she was told there was only one in stock. So she messaged him and she was like, look, by any chance, is it still there? And he replied back by saying, yes, hey, absolutely. I know you didn't ask, but I actually put it on hold for you because I just knew that you would want it. I knew you'd text me or call me to ask me about it because it just looks so beautiful on you, and I knew it was meant for you. And this actually didn't sink in until like maybe a few hours later. And this is what I wanted to kind of play this what if game with you. So as lovely as that sounds, I just don't know if I believe I don't know if I believe it. I don't know if I believe it. And again, maybe I'm just like, I'm super cynical, I'm super negative, and I'm super kind of like, I don't know if I trust you. But I think that trust and this relationship building that sales associates and people that work in designer stores and department stores, they need to build relationships with customers. And I just wonder if that was a particular tactic that he used. Because I have a hard time believing that, one, he put something on hold that she didn't even ask for it to be on hold, but he put it on hold anyway. And maybe he did. Maybe he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna put this aside because I feel like she'll be back. But are you telling me that if somebody strolled into that store and said, hey, look, oh my God, I love that bag. Oh, it's only one left, can I have it? Are you telling me that he would have said, no, I put it on hold for someone that didn't even ask me to put it on hold, but I have a feeling she's coming back? I don't know if I believe that. I feel like that was personally my thoughts, my belief is that that was a kind of manipulation tactic used to further build trust and further build a rapport with my particular friend. Now, again, she is like the loveliest human being that's ever graced this planet. So I think she thought it was genuine, and she just, I wish my brain was more like this, but she just sees the best in people. She thinks the best in people. So again, maybe my beliefs come from a biased place. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. But I just kind of think, nah, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I think that he was looking to build that rapport, looking to build that trust so that, you know, my friend would see him as someone that she could trust and continue to purchase with. I just have a hard time believing that, you know, maybe he did put it on hold, but I also just think that, you know, these people work off commission. So if someone else was to come in and ask for that bag, are you telling me he wouldn't have sold it? Let's play the what if game. Share with me your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think that that was a genuine interaction? Do you believe that he genuinely put it on hold and he genuinely believed that she was going to come back? Or do you believe that it was a little white lie that maybe he told to build trust and build rapport and gain a potential client? I would love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments down below. So yeah, just to wrap up, I think that building that rapport, relationship building, is a big part of selling. But I also think that these particular sales associates and these retailers in general use limited edition, you know, oh, we've only got one left, like that scarcity element, that scarcity mindset to really trigger shopping addicts and people with impulsive shopping tendencies. I would love to hear your experiences in the comments down below and any other tricks that you think retailers use on people who tend to impulsively shop. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Share with me what you think. I'm gonna have another one linked to right here. If you haven't had enough of me just yet, feel free to join me over there. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video, and I will see you in my next one.